Greetings, reggae massive around the world. My name is Jimmy. I'm an African reggae rock and roll artist based in Denmark, and I'm preparing to go to Jamaica to go promote my album in my father's house, which you got up there. The album itself was recorded a while back in 2003, that's about 15 years ago. And in between the time that we recorded until now, there's been a lot of activism for the advancement of African, economic rights around the world. So we've been working on the ground to make sure of that, you see. So we're going to do the exact same thing in Jamaica. That's the whole point of why we're going to Jamaica. We've got a different model for music business, which is going to be all inclusive of the poor. We want to make sure that the money that comes from the music actually uplifts the people, so that what we preach in the music actually happens. If we're talking about reparations, we're talking about repatriation and centralization and everything that Rastafari stands for. That's why I want to go to Jamaica and promote it to the whole world from Jamaica. The album itself, the music that's on the album is the type of songs we have. Actually, we're targeting an American, a Midwestern American market, where people who like John Cougar Mellencamp, Bruce Springsteen, country music, and Bob Marley, that kind of mix is what we have. So the album was the brainchild of a producer from Jamaica called Everton Thompson, based in London. He had a studio in a place called Selhurst near Croydon, South London. And my friend, Paul Van Ostren, who I used to go record at his studio in central London, he recognized I was a good songwriter. I happened to have a good voice and I happened to play guitar well, but my main thing was that I was a very good songwriter. And so he got a job with Everton, and Everton said that, well, he wants to really record some classic albums with good songs. And he said, well, I know a songwriter, so he called me. And so it was a three-way thing. I came in as a songwriter, Everton at the studio, and Paul Van Ostren came in as a producer. And the main reason why Everton wanted Paul to come in was because he was very good at analog and was also very good at computer. At that time, I think we're using Pro Tools. So this really interested Everton, and so we started building this sound that we knew would have an analog sound, and that's what we really wanted. Like Lenny Kravitz and those type of artists, really record everything and then mix it onto 2-inch tape. But the thing is, I had to go to Africa for a walk, like I said, 18,000 kilometers in Africa, an activism walk. And the funny thing is that had it not been for the walk, we would not have an album to promote today, because what happened was I was in a hurry to go, but we couldn't mix the album. So we were hanging around like a month to mix the album, and 2 months, and I say, well, what's the delay? I gotta go to Africa. And they say, well, we're waiting on 2-inch tape, because we're looking for tape and we can't find no tape. We run out of tape all over Europe. The only place they got tape is a company in Germany, but they've just been sold. So when the new owner comes in, that's when they're gonna start making tape again. So I was thinking, look, I can't wait another 2 months. I've got to go to Africa. Give me a mix. Give me a computer mix. And so that's what happened. And because of that, we have an album. Because shortly after I got that mix, the studio was raided. I mean, raided. Some people came in with weapons and beat up Paul, tied him up, and put a knife to his throat, and basically stole everything out. All the backup and everything. It just disappeared. It's a weird story, really. I'm saying? Sometimes I wonder what really went on. But I mean, everything was disappeared. Everything was gone. So, putting two and two together, I delayed my trip. Looking around, it became apparent to me that people had actually heard of the album, and that the album was the main reason why they had attacked the studio. Because it's a good album. So rumor was like, hey, there's this guy and he's writing songs and it's sounding good, and it's like Bob Marley and this and this and whatever. And I don't know if it was jealousy or whether it was just somebody got paid to do it. I don't know, but definitely they wanted to get rid of the album. But I had a copy because I had to do a walk. You see how jazz is good. And so that's what we got. It's a bit sad, it's bittersweet, because in the sense I really wanted to remix and mix and remix so many tracks that we cannot take away some of the music that we feel like taking away, and we can't add some of the music which I feel that we should add. So it's kind of like a bit sad. This particular album, this cover version is my friends from Denmark. Is what I call my reggae family in Denmark. You know, these are friends. The woman in the center, right at the center, is Kisa. She has a vegetarian shop. She was married to a Jamaican, or has children by a Jamaican. That's a daughter, Safa, and that's our other daughter. Um, oh please, Sade. Please forgive me, Sade. Sade Johnson. And the little boy in that is Conrad. The woman holding Conrad, that is Joanne, you know, or Joanna we call her. She's married to a Jamaican too, Jamaica Papa Curvin, who was in Germany for a long time, you know. And then we've also got, with sunglasses up there, we've got Tove. She's a dancer and she loves Jamaica too. And so it's kind of like it's a Jamaican connection. And the reason why I chose that particular picture is because this we actually want to go do good in Jamaica. We want to make sure that our music reaches the sufferers, and we have a system for that. And everybody in that picture is kind of like connected to helping out Jamaica one way or the other. It's just that now we're gonna go official and actually have an album that represents that activity. So it's a Denmark Jamaica connection. That is Moon Fisher. That is in Christiania. We're sitting outside where you can sit down and smoke your weed all day long. I wonder if that is Jamaica Denmark connection. But anyway. So what's gonna happen is when I get to Jamaica, I'm gonna walk through Jamaica like how I was walking in Africa. We walked 1,000 kilometers in Africa for water rights, but we're kind of like looking at reparation, repatriation, and centralization, and everything what Rastafari stands for, you know. So I've been doing this music for about 30 years, and I've never been to Jamaica. This is the first time I go to Jamaica. Everybody would ask me why I don't go to Jamaica, and I say, well, you know, I mean, for me, Jamaica is a place where people were taken into slavery. You know, Jamaica is not a place where you just go and say, okay, now you want to go to Jamaica because you want to smoke weed and you want to be part of the movement. No, I mean not movement. You wanna have a good time, and listen to reggae music and this and that. I'm Rasta, you know, and Rasta is bigger than reggae, you know. So the whole thing about slavery, we got to look at it. So going to Jamaica is a bittersweet thing, you know. It's like, you know, artists who go to Jamaica, and you have a lot of Italian artists, like you got a brother named Alba Rossi and brothers from Italy who learn to speak patois and be part of that whole thing. And it's like, then they come up with an album and like they're flexing, like, yeah, they're part of the whole thing. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm like, dude, I'm not ready to listen to you talk about the problems of Jamaica as an Italian. You should be telling me about the problems of Italy. You understand? It's like, get real. So for me to go to Jamaica, it's like, I will not go there to pretend to be a Jamaican. It's like I'm dealing with, hey, I know they're African and we need to be getting some serious connection with Africa, or getting some brothers home to Africa, or kind of like rectifying what went down in slavery. So that's the whole thing about In My Father's House. But like I said, the music, the songs, we had about 30 songs, which we had to bring down to 12 particular songs. And they're very mainstream. They are made for that market. We're talking about the Midwestern market in America. That's what the bigger album is. And that'll have a different cover, but that one with that particular cover is because we want to do charity work in Jamaica and to get everybody in Jamaica connected. The single from the album for that one is a single called Thank You Jamaica. I think another one is also going to be This Is My Day. Almost every one of the songs could be a single, you know, in their own right. But definitely Thank You Jamaica is on it, and it pays tribute to reggae music, to Jamaica, and not just reggae music, but what Jamaica has produced in terms of our freedom, you know, talking all the way from Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, you know, Nani, you know, and Kujo, you know, talking about Bob Marley, Marcus Garvey, Peter Tosh, especially Marcus Garvey, you know. So that fiery spirit of Jamaicans fighting for freedom. I mean, you can see it, like you even got Usain Bolt, and you know, Jamaicans are very determined people who really value their freedom and their dignity, and they have their pride. So it really is like that type of fortitude that Jamaicans have displayed, and fearlessness. You know, that's what Thank You Jamaica is is in tribute, is a tribute to the Jamaican spirit. So it's time to go to Jamaica for those reasons and for no other reasons really, other than we really respect these people and we really feel that all Jamaicans should get something good out of reggae music, because reggae music is making billions of dollars out there in the world. But it's like somebody knows where it goes, and it's not really disclosed what happened to it. It's an ongoing thing, but a lot of money is being made out of reggae music, where our people are not getting it. You know, all when it looks like they're getting it, they're not really getting it. So don't really want to get into it. What we've done as Rasta is we've come up with a totally different system, and that's what we have as Cool Mom Records. Is a totally different approach, and that means I'm going to Jamaica to walk and to be amongst the people and to get all the people on board on this new thing. So that's what In My Father's House is about. Blessed love.